My wife forgot her wallet, so I took a rideshare to the airport at midnight. 5 minutes after the driver locked the doors and whispered, "Do not get out." Police cars closed in from every direction. The driver's hand slammed down on the master lock. "Do not move. Do not get out of this car." Warren's voice was steady, but his knuckles were white on the steering wheel. "In exactly 4 minutes, you're going to understand everything." I sat frozen in the back seat of the black Lexus, my wife's Prada wallet burning a hole in my jacket pocket. Through the windshield, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport Terminal D glowed like a cathedral at 11:47 p.m. "What the hell are you talking about?" I grabbed the door handle. "Locked, Mr. Castellano," Warren said, his eyes fixed on the rearview mirror. "Your wife didn't forget her wallet. She left it on purpose, to get you here, alone. At this exact time." My throat closed. 38 minutes earlier, I'd been in my home office reviewing acquisition contracts when Miranda burst in, face flushed, designer luggage in hand. "Baby, I'm so sorry. I have to catch the midnight flight to Chicago. Investors are furious about the merger delays. If I don't fix this tonight, the whole deal collapses." She was already in her Armani business suit, the one she wore for high-stakes meetings, her presentation laptop, her emergency makeup kit, everything perfect. Except, "Jules, I'm the worst. I left my wallet on the kitchen counter. I won't make it through security without ID." She'd kissed me hard, grabbed her bags, and run for the door. "I love you. Don't wait up." 20 minutes after she left, I found the wallet, tucked between the coffee maker and the fruit bowl, right where she said. So I did what any loving husband would do. I ordered a rideshare and raced to save her. Now I was locked in a car with a driver who looked like he'd just watched someone die. "Warren," I said slowly, "I don't know what kind of scam you're running, but unlock this door right now or I'm calling—" "3 minutes," he interrupted. "Look at the departures board. International Terminal, Gate D37. I followed his finger. Through the massive glass wall of the second-floor concourse, I saw her. Miranda stood at the gate in a red cocktail dress I'd never seen before. Not business clothes, party clothes. Her hair was down, cascading over bare shoulders. She was laughing. The man next to her had his hand on the small of her back. Adrian Volkov, my business partner, my college roommate, the best man at my wedding 7 years ago. They stood over 4 massive suitcases, the leather set Miranda had bought for future travel, the kind you pack when you're not coming back. I stopped breathing. Adrian pulled her close, kissed her neck. She melted into him like they'd done this 1,000 times. "That's impossible," I whispered. "They're both going to Chicago for the merger. They're—" 2 minutes. Then I saw what was in Adrian's other hand, his phone. He was staring down at it, then looking out the terminal window, directly at the arrivals curb, directly at where our car was parked. My hands started shaking. "Mr. Castellano," Warren said quietly, "do you know who I am? You're my rideshare driver, Warren Hughes, 5-star rating. I'm also the head of security your father hired 18 years ago before you took over Castellano Industries. Before he died, he made me promise something." Warren reached into the center console and pulled out a leather folder. "He made me promise to protect you, even from people you trust." He handed me the folder. Inside were photos. Miranda and Adrian at a restaurant in Austin 3 months ago. Different restaurant in Santa Fe 2 months ago. Checking into the Ritz-Carlton in New York 6 weeks ago. Always touching. Always intimate. Always when I was supposedly at industry conferences, they'd insisted I attend alone. "How long?" My voice cracked. 14 months, since right after you promoted Adrian to COO and added him to the company insurance policy. The insurance policy. Oh God. The $20 million keyman policy we'd taken out on me when the company valuation hit $100 million. Standard practice for private companies. If something happened to me, the surviving partners would have capital to stabilize operations. Surviving partners. Adrian would get $20 million if I died. 1 minute, Warren said. Sirens exploded from every direction. 5 police cruisers materialized from the darkness, lights painting everything red and blue. Officers in tactical gear swarmed from the shadows, weapons drawn, converging on a white panel van parked 30 feet away in the commercial loading zone, right where I would have been standing if I'd walked from the rideshare drop-off to the terminal entrance, right where the GPS on my phone would have led me. They dragged someone out of the van, a man in a black hoodie, face covered. He fought back, but 4 officers took him down hard. One held up an evidence bag. Inside was a syringe and a roll of duct tape. "That's Dmitry Kessler," Warren said. "Former Spetsnaz, currently wanted in 3 countries for kidnapping and extortion. Someone paid him $60,000, wired yesterday, to grab you tonight, make it look like a random abduction, and deliver your body to a warehouse in Fort Worth." The world tilted sideways. "Mr. Kessler had very specific instructions," Warren continued. "Chloroform, unmarked van, no witnesses. Your wife was supposed to report you missing tomorrow morning when you didn't answer her calls. The perfect alibi. She was in Chicago on business when you disappeared, trying to bring her wallet to the airport." My phone buzzed. Text from Miranda. "Baby, did you find it? I'm at the gate." They're boarding in 10 minutes. I looked up at the terminal window. She was staring down at the police lights. Her face had gone white. Adrian was on his phone, gesturing frantically. They knew it had failed. I'd met Miranda Walsh 5 years after my father died and left me Castellano Industries, a mid-sized defense contractor specializing in drone surveillance systems. 38 employees, $15 million in annual revenue. Solid, but unremarkable. She was working at Goldman Sachs, investment banking, the kind of ambitious that made boardrooms nervous. We met at a tech conference in Austin, where I was desperately trying to pitch our company to venture capitalists who barely looked up from their phones. She approached me at the hotel bar afterward. "Your pitch was terrible," she'd said, sliding onto the stool next to mine. "But your product is brilliant. You're underselling it by 70%. 3 months later, she quit Goldman and became our CFO. 6 months after that, we were engaged. A year later, married in Napa Valley with 200 guests and a string quartet. You need to think bigger, Jules," she'd say during strategy sessions. "We're not selling hardware. We're selling solutions, security, peace of mind." Under her guidance, we restructured, raised capital, expanded into AI-enhanced surveillance. Revenue hit $50 million in year 2, $120 million in year 4. Adrian had been there from the beginning, back when it was just me and 6 engineers in a warehouse. My college roommate turned lead developer turned irreplaceable second in command. When we incorporated properly, I made him COO, 25% equity, full operational control of engineering. "Your family," I'd told him. "I trust you with everything." Miranda had supported the decision immediately. "Adrian's brilliant. This company needs both of you." The 3 of us built something extraordinary. By year 6, we were valued at $180 million. Defense contracts with the Pentagon, international clients, patents worth millions. And somewhere along the way, my wife and my best friend decided I was worth more dead than alive. Warren drove away from the airport in silence while I stared at the folder. There were more documents underneath the surveillance photos. Bank statements, wire transfers, an offshore account in the Cayman Islands opened 14 months ago in Miranda's name. Deposits totaling $3.2 million, exact amounts that matched consulting fees and vendor payments I'd approved from company accounts. She'd been stealing for over a year. "There's more," Warren said. He turned into a parking garage off Highway 114, 3rd level. A silver Ford Explorer was waiting, engine running. The woman in the driver's seat was mid-40s, gray pantsuit, badge clipped to her belt. She stepped out as we approached. "Julian Castellano?" She extended her hand. "Detective Rachel Kovach, Financial Crimes Division, Dallas County Sheriff's Office. I've been investigating your wife and Adrian Volkov for 8 months." My legs almost gave out. Warren steadied me. "Mr. Castellano needs to sit down." They guided me to the Explorer. Detective Kovach opened her laptop. "We got a tip about the embezzlement in March," she explained. "Anonymous call to our fraud hotline claiming Castellano Industries was being systematically looted by its CFO. We started pulling records. What we found was sophisticated, layered shell companies, falsified invoices, wire transfers disguised as legitimate business expenses." She pulled up a spreadsheet. Hundreds of transactions highlighted in red. "Your wife has stolen approximately $8.4 million over the past 18 months. Adrian Volkov has stolen another $2.1 million through fraudulent engineering contracts." "That's impossible," I whispered. "I sign off on everything. I review the books." "You review what she shows you," Kovach said gently. "She's been maintaining 2 sets of books, the ones you see and the real ones. We found them on a hidden server in her office." She opened another file. "But the theft wasn't the endgame. 3 months ago, your wife took out a $15 million life insurance policy on you, separate from the company policy. Personal, she's the sole beneficiary." My chest tightened. "Then 6 weeks ago, she and Volkov purchased one-way tickets to Dubai. Tomorrow's flight, 1st class, 2 seats. They also wired $6 million to a private banking account in the UAE, purchased a penthouse in Business Bay, and enrolled in an expatriate residency program." She showed me the documents. Apartment lease, banking confirmations, email chains discussing starting fresh and finally being free. "They were going to kill me and disappear," I said. "That was the plan." Kovach closed the laptop. "We've been building the case, waiting for enough evidence to guarantee conviction. But 2 days ago, Warren contacted us, said he'd intercepted communications suggesting an imminent move. We had to act fast." Warren leaned against the car. "I've been monitoring your wife's phone for 3 months. Corporate espionage software your company actually developed. When she texted Kessler this morning confirming the payment and the location, I knew it was tonight." "How did you—" "Your father asked me to watch over you," Warren said. "When you started dating Miranda, I ran a background check, found discrepancies. Former names, sealed juvenile records, a pattern of wealthy boyfriends who all ended relationships suddenly and lost money. I tried to warn your father, but he died before I could present everything." He pulled out his phone. "I've been documenting documenting everything since the wedding, every suspicious meeting, every unexplained transaction. I tried to approach you 6 times, but she was always there, always watching. So I waited, collected evidence, made sure that when the moment came, we'd have everything we needed. My phone buzzed again. Miranda. Jules. Where are you? Flight is boarding. Another text. This one from Adrian. Hey man, Miranda said you were bringing her wallet. Everything okay? The casual concern. The perfect innocence. I looked at Kovac. What happens now? Now you press charges. Attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, embezzlement, wire fraud, insurance fraud. We have Dmitry Kessler in custody and he's already talking. Gave up Miranda and Volkov in exchange for a reduced sentence. We have the wire transfers, the travel documents, the communications. It's airtight. Will they run? We have units positioned at every exit of Terminal D. The moment they try to board that flight, they're under arrest. But she looked at me carefully. It would be better if you were there, if you confronted them, gave them a chance to incriminate themselves further while wearing a wire. My hands clenched. You want me to go in there? I want you to finish this on your terms. 20 minutes later, I walked into Terminal D wearing a wire thin enough to hide under my shirt. Detective Kovac and 2 plainclothes officers followed at a distance. Warren stayed in the garage, monitoring everything through the surveillance system he'd hacked into weeks ago. I took the escalator to the 2nd floor. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. Gate D37 was at the far end of the concourse. I could see them from 100 yards away. Miranda had changed back into business clothes. The red dress was gone, replaced by her travel suit, the perfect professional. Adrian stood next to her, scrolling through his phone, looking bored. They'd erased the evidence in minutes. I walked closer, 50 yards, 30. Miranda saw me first. Her face transformed. Relief, joy, gratitude, an Oscar-worthy performance. Jules, oh thank God! She rushed toward me, arms out. I was so worried. Did you bring... I held up the wallet. She took it, kissed me hard. You're the best husband in the world. I'm so sorry you had to come all the way out here. Adrian approached, hand extended. Hey brother, sorry you had to play delivery service. I shook his hand, looked him in the eyes. I need to talk to both of you, I said, privately. Miranda's smile flickered. Baby, the flight's boarding in 5 minutes. This can't wait. Adrian glanced at Miranda. Something passed between them. A micro-expression I'd seen 1,000 times but never understood. Fear. We moved to an empty gate nearby. I sat. They remained standing. I know, I said quietly. Silence. Know what, honey? Miranda's voice was honey-sweet concern. About the money, the offshore accounts, the fake invoices, all of it. Adrian went pale. Miranda's expression didn't change. Jules, I have no idea what you're... I also know about the insurance policy. The one you took out 3 months ago. $15 million. Now her face shifted. Calculation. Trying to figure out how much I knew, how much I was guessing. That's standard executive protection, she said carefully. We discussed this. Remember? In case something happened to you, I'd be protected financially. And I know about Dubai, the penthouse, the $6 million you wired last week. Dead silence. Adrian took a step back. His hand moved toward his carry-on bag. Don't, I said. There are 3 federal agents within 30 feet of us, and I'm wearing a wire. Everything you say is being recorded. Miranda's mask finally cracked. The warmth drained from her face. What replaced it was cold, calculating. A stranger wearing my wife's skin. You weren't supposed to find the wallet, she said. I know. I was supposed to be in a van right now. Dmitry Kessler was supposed to make me disappear, except he's in custody. He gave you up immediately. Adrian's legs gave out. He sat down hard, head in his hands. Miranda, he whispered. You said it would be clean. You said, shut up, she hissed. But he kept talking, the words spilling out. You said we'd be in Dubai before anyone knew. You said Julian would just disappear and we'd have everything. The insurance money, the company, everything. Adrian, stop. You said no one would get hurt. His voice rose. You said it would look like a random kidnapping. You said, I said shut up. Detective Kovac appeared from behind a pillar, badge raised. Miranda Walsh, Adrian Volkov, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, embezzlement, wire fraud, and insurance fraud. 2 officers moved in. Miranda jerked away, but they were faster. This is insane, she screamed as they cuffed her. Julian, tell them this is a mistake. I stood up, looked at her, this woman I'd loved, trusted, built a life with. The wire transfer to Kessler came from your personal account, I said. The communications confirming the hit were on your phone. You booked the flights. You rented the penthouse. You stole $8 million from the company I built. And you were going to have me killed so you could run away with my best friend and live like royalty in the Middle East. You have no proof. I have all of it. Warren's been collecting evidence for 3 years. The FBI has been monitoring your offshore accounts for 6 months. Kessler's testimony is on record. And you just confessed on tape. Her face twisted with rage. The beautiful mask completely gone. You were so easy, she spat. So trusting. So boring. Did you really think someone like me would want to spend her life with someone like you? You're nothing, Julian. A mediocre engineer who got lucky with daddy's company. I built Castellano Industries. I made it worth something. And you deserve 20 years years in federal prison, Kovac cut in, which is exactly what you're going to get. Let's go. They led her away, still screaming. Adrian went quietly, his face buried in his hands. I stood there as the gate area cleared. Other passengers stared, whispered. My phone buzzed. Warren, you did good, Mr. Castellano. Your father would be proud. The trial lasted 6 weeks. The prosecution was led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Graham Pierce, 16 years with the DOJ, a specialist in complex financial crimes. He presented 847 pieces of evidence, bank records showing the systematic theft, email chains between Miranda and Adrian discussing the plan, text messages with Dmitry Kessler coordinating my murder, surveillance footage of them together in hotels, restaurants, always when I was supposedly away on business. Special Agent Lisa Chen from the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit testified about the offshore accounts, the shell companies, the web of fake vendors used to siphon money. Warren testified about his investigation, 3 years of surveillance, documented meetings, phone records, GPS data showing everywhere Miranda went while claiming to be working late. Dmitry Kessler testified in exchange for a reduced sentence, described in detail how Miranda had contacted him through a Russian darknet forum, offered $60,000 to make Julian Castellano disappear permanently, provided my schedule, my habits, my phone's GPS coordinates. She told me it had to look like random violence, he said from the witness stand, his accent thick. Said she needed to be far away when it happened. Said she would be heartbroken widow and nobody would suspect. The defense tried to argue that Miranda had been coerced by Adrian, that she was a victim of manipulation. Then the prosecution played a recording from Miranda's burner phone, one Warren had cloned months ago. Her voice, crystal clear. I'm tired of waiting, Adrian. He's worth more dead than alive. 20 million from the company policy, 15 from the personal policy, plus his 60% equity stake. We'll control everything, and he'll be gone. Adrian's response. You're sure Kessler can make it look like a random abduction? I'm sure. And even if they suspect us, we'll be in Dubai. No extradition treaty. We'll be untouchable. The jury deliberated for 4 hours, guilty on all counts. Sentencing. Miranda got 25 years in federal prison. Adrian got 18. Dmitry Kessler got 12 with the cooperation agreement. All assets frozen and seized for restitution. 8 months later, I stood in the parking garage where Detective Kovac had first shown me the evidence. Warren leaned against his Lexus, arms crossed. How's the company? He asked. Recovering. I brought in a new CFO, former FBI forensic accountant. We've implemented new controls, rebuilt the board. The Pentagon contracts are solid. I handed him an envelope. What's this? Chief of Security, official title, full benefits, salary that actually reflects what you've been doing for the past 18 years. He opened it. His eyes widened. Mr. Castellano, Julian, and you earned it. My father trusted you to protect me. You did that, even when I didn't know I needed protecting. He shook my hand. I'll take the job on one condition. What's that? You start trusting your instincts. You knew something was wrong with Miranda. I saw it in your face at family dinners, at company events. You felt it. You just didn't want to believe it. I nodded slowly. I thought love meant trusting completely. Love means trusting someone who's earned it, Warren said. Miranda never earned it. She just performed it well enough that you stopped asking questions. 1 year later, I sat in my office. No longer the office I'd shared with Adrian's ghost, but a new space in a new building. Castellano Industries had been rebranded. New leadership team, new culture. Revenue was up 40%. We'd just signed a $200 million contract with the Department of Defense. I'd sold Adrian's equity stake back to the company for $20 million, money that went directly to the government for restitution. Miranda's offshore accounts had been frozen and liquidated. Victims of their theft had been made whole. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. This is a prepaid call from Texas Federal Correctional Institution. Will you accept charges from inmate Miranda Castellano? I stared at the phone. No, I said, and hung up. She called back twice more over the next week. I blocked the facility's number. Some conversations didn't deserve to be finished. 18 months after the arrest, I sat in a coffee shop in Austin's 2nd Street district. The woman across from me was late 30s, research scientist, brilliant and funny and real. We'd met at a quantum computing conference where I'd been pitching our new AI integration systems. So, you're telling me, Dr. Sarah Brennan said, stirring her latte, that your previous CFO embezzled $8 million and tried to have you murdered? That's the abbreviated version. And your head of security, who your father hired as a teenage bodyguard, caught the whole thing and saved your life. Also accurate. She leaned back, studying me. How are you so calm about this? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Because I stopped being a victim the moment I pressed charges, I said. Miranda thought I was weak, trusting, easy to manipulate. She was right about the trusting part, but she confused kindness with weakness. She thought because I loved her, I'd be blind, but you weren't. I was, I admitted, for a long time. But when I finally saw it, when I had proof, I didn't hesitate. I didn't make excuses. I didn't try to save forgave her. I let her face the consequences of every choice she made. Sarah smiled. That's actually kind of terrifying. Good, I said. It should be. We talked for 3 more hours about quantum entanglement and startup culture and the ethics of surveillance technology, about her research and my company and whether artificial intelligence would save or doom us all. When I finally looked at my watch, it was past midnight. I should go, I said. Early meeting tomorrow. She walked me to my car. At the door, she paused. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you trust people now, after everything? I looked at her, really looked at her. The curiosity in her eyes, the intelligence, the realness. I trust carefully, I said. But I still trust, because the alternative is living in fear, and Miranda doesn't get to take that from me. Sarah kissed me, softly, briefly. Call me, she said, when you're ready. I called her the next morning. 2 years after the trial, I received a letter. Prison stationery. Miranda's handwriting. I almost threw it away unopened, but curiosity won. Julian, I know you won't believe this, but I'm sorry. Not for getting caught, for trying. You deserved better than what I gave you. I spent 2 years in therapy trying to understand why I did it. The psychologist says I have narcissistic personality disorder, that I see people as tools, not humans, that I'm incapable of genuine connection. She's probably right. But in my own broken way, I think I did love you, or at least I loved the idea of you, the successful husband, the stable life, the access to money and power. I just loved those things more than I loved you. Adrian writes to me sometimes. He says he's sorry too, that he never meant for it to go that far. He blames me for everything. Maybe he's right. I'll be 63 when I get out. If I get out, the parole board keeps denying me. I hope you're happy. I hope you found someone real. I hope you forgot I exist. Miranda. I read it twice. Then I folded it, placed it in my safe, and never looked at it again. Because the truth was simple. I had found someone real. Dr. Sarah Brennan, who challenged me, supported me, saw me as a partner rather than a resource. I had rebuilt my company stronger than before. I had learned that trust without verification wasn't trust. It was negligence. And I had learned that the people who try to destroy you are ultimately just destroying themselves. I didn't need to forgive Miranda. I didn't need to hate her. I just needed to let her face the consequences of her choices while I lived with the consequences of mine. And my choice to press charges, to testify, to refuse to be a victim had set me free. 3 years after everything, I stood at the altar. Sarah wore white. I wore gray. Warren stood beside me as best man, the man who'd saved my life and became the brother I'd lost. Detective Kovac sat in the 3rd row, smiling. Graham Pierce attended with his wife, shook my hand afterward, said, "Glad you got your happy ending." No one from my old life came. No Adrian. No Miranda's family. No former friends who'd chosen sides. Just new people. Real people. People who'd earned their place. As Sarah and I exchanged vows, I thought about the wallet. The one Miranda had left on the kitchen counter. The bait that was supposed to lead to my death. Instead, it led to her imprisonment and my freedom. Do you, Julian Castellano, take this woman? I do, and I meant it, this time, with my eyes open. 5 years later, the email arrived on a Tuesday. Inmate Miranda Castellano, ID 847392, has been denied parole for the 4th consecutive year. Next eligibility hearing, 2029. I deleted it without reading the rest. In my office, the photo on my desk showed Sarah holding our daughter, Elena, 18 months old. Perfect. Warren had just been promoted to VP of Global Security. Castellano Industries was now valued at $800 million. And somewhere in a federal prison, my ex-wife was finally facing the cost of betrayal. Not because I destroyed her, because she destroyed herself the moment she confused my love for weakness. The intercom buzzed. "Mr. Castellano, your 2 p.m. is here. Send them in." I closed my laptop, stood up, and got back to building the life she'd tried to take from me. The life I'd refused to lose. The life that proved a simple truth. You can steal someone's money. You can steal their time. You can try to steal their life, but you can't steal what they build after you're gone. And that legacy, that's the real revenge.